Billy, what's the process been like for Paul since he got here and in the first couple of days, just kind of as a guy who's been around a little while, just taking some ownership and taking some leadership role and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think like we probably talked about on media day, is the familiarity of getting, these guys comfortable playing one another. The balance between obviously trying to establish an identity on defense and working on the coverages and those things, and then obviously allowing these guys to play some together. But Paul is he's a great guy. He affects the game in a lot of different ways. He can do it by moving and cutting. He obviously can do it, in pick and roll, coming off screens. He can do it in transition. He's got good vision. He's unselfish. He plays the right way. And I think with the way he plays the game, he allows the game to dictate what his next decision should be. And like I said, he impacts the game in a lot of different ways.
From a leadership and just a chemistry standpoint, he talked about Russell making him feel comfortable. How important is that for new guys, that a guy who's got that kind of voice and is being?
Oh yeah, and Russell, relationship-wise with all those guys, is always going to continue to lead. I think for Paul, when you come into a new situation and being in Indiana as long as he's been there, he's learning a new team, a new environment, new culture, new situations. But the fact of the matter is he has a lot of experience under his belt, that what he's been through throughout his career. I think he can bring that to help our team and help guys in the locker room and help different players in terms of what they may be dealing with. So there's no question, I think, his experience and his voice will be important.
Billy, I asked you about staggering on media day, and just to follow up on that, how much of that, what goes into the decision process, has to do with age and not wanting one of the, whether it's Melo or somebody else, not just wanting him to have to rest twice and go hot, cold, and a half?
Yeah, like I said before, I think one is, being on the same page in terms of how we're going to go about trying to do that. And then the other part of that is, what kind of impact or effect does that have on an individual player and their productivity and how they're contributing and helping the team. So to your point, there may be rotations that these guys have never really done before. And they're like, listen, let's try that and see what that feels like. And they may come back to, I don't like the way that feels there. Because I think the biggest thing for me as a coach is to get them, all of them, not only those three guys, but our team, to be in a situation where they feel comfortable, that they can be productive and get a rhythm and a feel of what's going on out there. And, it's going to take a level of sacrifice by everybody.
You've got a half dozen guys that are brand new. What's your process for implementing terminology, kind of making sure everybody's speaking the same language, particularly on the defensive end?
Yeah, trying to create clarity for them of what we want. There's so many things that you have to guard and handle. From screening actions to pick and rolls to spacing to teams playing small to switching to showing. There's just a lot of different things, and I think what you've got to do is just step by step go through these different situations. So the foundation of how we want to play and what we want to do is in, but pick and roll coverages change on personnel, screening actions change on personnel, but you want to make sure you have clarity of what you're doing and then have the adjustments, the changes be based on scouting and relative to personnel.
So is that an ongoing process throughout the season, or is there a point in time during camp that you'd like to kind of feel comfortable with, where you are in terms of the communication side of things?
Oh yeah, you always want that. It's going to be from day one. You want those guys communicating and talking through different situations, and they've done a really, really good job. With that, Carmelo's a good talker, Paul is a good talker, Russ is the same way. Even Steven. Steven's been really vocal and very, very helpful defensively.